afternoon. Welcome to the show, Time with a Gardener. Today, I want to talk to you about growing corn in your home garden and some of the things that you need to consider, what you need to know about growing corn in your home garden. My name is Dr. Kwekuche Aka. I am the gardener. This show is actually brought to you by Garden for All, which is a non-profit organization. Garden for All has the aim of ensuring that everyone has access to safe food. If you want more videos, subscribe to our channel and then also share the videos. Yes, I think you are so important to your family. And then growing your food and then ensuring that your home, your family has access to food is something that you can't take for granted. A lot of people are struggling to buy food because of the cost of living. It's so expensive on the market if you want to depend on your salary. But it's very important that you learn to grow. Today is Father's Day, and the best father is the one who ensures that his family has access to safe food. That is the best father per my definition. So if you want to be the best of fathers, then you have to think about making sure you provide safe food for your family. And the surest way of ensuring that you have safe food, one of them is through home gardening. And so you can be a change maker, the best of fathers, by establishing a garden and producing healthy food for your home. This year, I want you to join me as we get celebrated by our family members. And then through our edge in growing food for them. I have established a garden, and I want you as a father to also start a garden. So you can always send in your comment in the comment section, and then I will respond. Today, I want to let you know that there are a lot of crops that you can consider. Now, I'll be bringing you some of the crops. We'll be talking about them, how you can grow them. But one crop that you can consider because of the importance of that particular crop in our diet, those of us from Africa, corn. Corn is used so much and is so important to our diet. Those of us in Ghana, if you talk about Banku, it's corn. If you talk about Akpele, it's corn. And even you are talking about cocoa, the porridge, corn, some made from corn. And so you look at a typical Ghanaian diet, and then when you one of the food that is spread across the various tribes in Ghana, corn can never be taken away from it. And more importantly, when it comes to if you want to also add animal production, corn is so important because of the high demand of corn and the corn product. The prices sometimes become very high, very, 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 very high. And so it's very important that we think about ways of growing corn in our homes. It's one of the easiest crop to grow if you know much about it. But if you don't know about it, it may give you problem. And more especially now that we have the fall armyworm becoming a major problem in Ghana. And so you have to learn to grow them. And so today I want to talk to you how you can successfully grow corn. If you have a problem, just share it in the comment section and then I will respond. So maize is a crop that does well if you have sandy loam soil. It doesn't do well in clay soil. So you have to make sure your soil is sandy loam and then very rich with organic matter. And so that is it's rich in compost. So it's very important that you consider uh, your soil, the soil type first when you are growing your maize. And so a very loose soil type, the soil has to be loose, and then you have to make sure, you see, a soil when you just press it this way, it can form a ball, but you can easily break it, and very loose. This soil can retain can retain water, and then the water can drain easily. So it shouldn't be a soil with so much clay. So the soil should be loose and then should be rich. So first of all, you consider the soil type. And so one thing that you can also know that your soil is healthy is the activity of earthworms. If you have a lot of earthworm activity, then it tells you that the soil is rich. But you still have to think about improving it from time to time. Yeah, so as I told you, the corn love soil with rich organic matter and well drained. So you have to consider sandy loam soil. And you also have to consider the choice of seed. We have a lot of varieties, hybrid varieties, all of them bred purposely to serve specific problems. Some are bred to contain vitamin A and then other mineral, other vitamins as well. Some are bred for consumption at home and some for animal feed. So you have to consider the type of seed that you want to grow. And some are early maturing, some are also late maturing. So you always have to read on the label of the seed label and then find out if you want it to be early maturing, go for the early maturing variety. And again, if you want it you want to eat it fresh, boil and then eat, you have to consider the type. The sweet corn is available. We have some also that also can be used for you can eat them fresh and then also you process them as well. So you consider all these varieties when you are deciding on the type of corn that you need to grow. More importantly, make sure that you buy certified seed. A lot of us consider seeds from the plants that we grow. If it is hybrid, it is not advisable that you pick seeds from it. But if it is a local variety, like those of us in Ghana, there are a lot of local varieties that you can easily save your seed and they use for the next production. So consider that. If it is hybrid, always make sure you buy. And so when buying the seed, also make sure you buy from a certified company. Make sure it is certified. And so the easiest way of making sure that the seed is also viable is for you to also conduct the seed test, because unlike the indigenous varieties or the local varieties that doesn't lose its viability on time, the hybrid varieties lose their viability so early, so quickly, especially when they're exposed to heat. And so that also means that anytime you buy the seed, you keep it in the fridge so that they don't lose their viability. And so if you want to make sure that the seed is not viable before sowing, just pick about 10 of the seeds, get a wet towel, put the seeds on the wet towel and use another, cover it with another wet towel, and then you put it in a transparent bag, seal it, and then keep it in a cool place, and then monitor for growth. In about 7 days, which is a week, you see the seed grow, sprouting. If it is viable, it will germinate. If it is not viable, it will not germinate. So this is a simple way of doing the seed test. But when you grow, one thing that affects maize growth is weed. Anytime you allow weed to take over your maize field, the plant wouldn't grow well. And then you even see signs, the leaves will be turning pale. But once you clear the weed, within a week, you see the plant growing and the leaves color turning. That is when your soil is rich in nutrients. So weed can affect your maize plant. So in your home, if you want to grow the maize, make sure that you protect against weed. One other thing that maize do not like is shade. So if you have a tree, you make sure you don't grow maize under the tree. I want to show you something. This is a maize in a garden. This is the home and this is a garden. And then you look at this. I just did it. Wanted to demonstrate to you. Look at the tree. This is a tree. This is a neem tree. And then look at the maize that we planted. The corn. We planted the corn. These corn and then these ones were all planted the same day. But look at this particular one. Look at the size. And then look at where it is. They are under the shade. They are under a tree. And so look at the size. They are stunted. They are not growing. But look at the one that is not under the shade. Look at them. They are growing very tall and then doing very well. Even they are about tasseling. This one is filled, so they are going to tassel soon. But when you look at the one under the shade, look at them under the shade, they are struggling to grow. And so that tells you that when growing your corn, make sure you avoid shade. You don't grow it under shade. So if you have a tree and then you want to grow corn or maize, make sure you don't grow them under the tree. So make sure there's an open space and then you can grow your corn. That is one tip that you have to consider. And then again, weed. Always make sure that your maize farm is clean. You clear weeds, because if you allow weeds to take over as this one, the plant will not grow well. You look at the leaves, you see the leaves color turning, not being too green, but immediately you start weeding, you see the color changing. These ones were having the same issue, but once they started, we cleared it, the color is changing and becoming green. So avoid the weeds. Always make sure you weed your maize plant. But if you time it very well, you clear the field, your garden, and you plant, and then once they get established, you again weed under. For which this particular one that we have cleared. I don't think that we will weed again until we even harvest. So because you see the canopy closing, so very important. So when you grow your maize plant, what you should always be also looking out for is the fall army worm. The fall army worm is one of the most destructive pests. Anytime you see this sign on your maize, this frass, it should tell you that you have problem with the fall army worm. And then you see the leaves, and what they do is that they get into the sheet, the leaf sheet. They will be within the leaf sheet, and then in the leaf sheet they start eating from the sheet. So then damage the leaves from within. So your leaves will be damaged, and then your plant will not grow as it should grow. So it's very important that you always watch out for the fall army worm. But to avoid that, make sure you spray. And for the corn, because for home gardening, we always encourage you to use the organic approach. The best chemical to use to spray the fall army worm is BT, the BT based insecticide. BT is organic. It's used in managing caterpillars, mostly for caterpillars, but it's organic. It's a bacteria that has been used in the formulation. So the BT is the best that you use, and is very effective against caterpillars. But when you are spraying, because they normally hide within the leaf sheet, it's very important that you let the spray get into the sheet, so that if they are hiding within, it will kill them. When you just spray the surface, it may not, because if they are hiding, you may not be able to get them. So make sure the spray gets into the leaf sheet, and then you can easily manage them. So the BT is one chemical that you can easily use, and then you can also use emamectin benzoate. Emamectin benzoate is very important. You can also use it, and then you can also use the sulfur-based chemicals, sulfur-based insecticide. They are also very effective against caterpillars. And so consider using these chemicals to grow. And another pest that is also very serious on maize are aphids. Anytime you see ants on your maize plant, then you have to know that your problem is with aphid. And then you see this particular signs on them. When you see this and then you find the ant, you have aphid problem. Now look at it. Yes, have you seen them? These are aphids. These are the aphids. So severe infestation of aphids. And so for the aphids too, you can use the sulfur-based emamectin, are all very effective. But this, anytime you see the ant, and use the ant as the sign. When you see the ant, it means you have aphids problem. So you look at this corn, you see that there are aphids problem. This particular one, to look at it, you see aphids problem. So the aphids are also a major pest problems on your corn, which you have to protect. So look out for them and make sure you spray and then you manage them, else they will affect your yield. So today I have talked to you about the aphids. I've talked to you about the fall armyworm and how you can manage them effectively. So corn is very important to all of us, very, very important, but you also have to be careful that you don't end up having challenges because of the fall armyworm problem. So once you plant, make sure you monitor, first of all, monitor for the presence of the fall armyworm, and then you spray, because now they are with us. So once you see your corn well established, you have to think about spraying them against the fall armyworm. Let me show you one the stage, because some of you may ask me, at what stage should I spray my corn? The stage that you have to also spray against the fall armyworm is this particular stage. When they are even of this stage, this is the time that you need to spray, because at this time the fall armyworm gets in there and they start. And now, more especially because a lot of people are growing corn in your community, so there are a lot of the moth in the system, and so they are moving around, and then they will be laying their eggs. So those of you who are growing corn at this moment, be expecting a lot of fall armyworm problems. So all that you have to do is to monitor and then make sure you manage them effectively. That is what you have to do. And then another problem that you have to also be aware of has to do with the weaver birds. The weaver birds. They are very destructive and then very difficult to manage. So in your community, if you have weaver birds as a problem, then you have to always learn to manage them. What you can do is that the weaver birds, what they do is, when they see a corn like this particular one, they to remove it from this side. They remove the sheath from this side. So one way that you can do to protect it against the weaver bird is to the leaf. When you have the leaf, just use the leaf to cover the corn this way. You cover the corn, especially the sheet. Just cover it. When you do it this way, the weaver bird will not have access to remove it, because when they are removing, they remove from this side. They remove from this side. So once you cover it, they will not have access to it. So this is an indigenous way of protecting the corn cob against weaver birds. So take note and then do it accordingly. So now you know how to protect your corn against the weaver birds, as I have done nicely. You use the leaves to just wrap around the where the cob is, and so you protect it easily. So today, these are some of the tips that you have to consider in growing your corn. So add corn to your home gardening plant and then enjoy it. Now, one thing that you also have to consider is how to store. A lot of us, I like the corn fresh. I like it fresh. I like the fresh corn a lot. And so because within a short time, it can also become hard, how then do I ensure that I have fresh corn to eat? What you have to do is that once they are matured for you to eat, depending on the variety, you harvest it fresh, and then you keep the fresh, just keep it in a sack and put it in the freezer. Your freezer, freeze it. At any point in time, you can pick it from the freezer and then boil it, and then you still taste the delicious corn. Someone taught me how to do it. I didn't know much about it, so I decided to try it. And so I picked my fresh corn, and we had a lot, so I kept it in the freezer, and then I had forgotten about it. After 8 months, we were clearing the freezer, and then I saw the sack, and then we had the corn inside. So we decided to boil it and see. And interestingly, it tastes so good. And I was so impressed. So with this corn that we have planted, we are going to store a lot of them in the freezer so that we can enjoy fresh corn anytime. And so today I have taught you a lot. You now know what to do with your corn. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I am the gardener. We are going to be sharing a video with you. We've started a training series. Now a professional media people came. We are going to start the training series. We've started with how to start a garden. And so every day we are going to be giving you episode, and it's going to be in English and then in Twi, which is a local language. So I want you all to like this channel, subscribe, and then share, and then get updated. Be part of the change, and then also ensure that your home has access to safe food. My name is Dr. Aka. I am the gardener. Thank you so much for being with me today. Bye-bye.